Ms. Quiller, you are here seeking DNA results to determine the father of your 3-year-old daughter, Nora.
Yes, Your Honor.
Today, you say you've brought your daughter's potential grandmother to court in an effort to end your search for her dad.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Briggs, you are Nora's possible grandmother. You claim your son had no idea he may have fathered a child with the plaintiff. In fact, you say he never even mentioned having sexual relations with Ms. Quiller, nor that she was potentially pregnant with his child.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Quiller, please explain why you say there's so much riding on today's DNA results.
I've had 2 other potential fathers tested, and their paternity test came out to be negative. And Mrs. Briggs' son would be my last hope of paternity for my daughter.
Can you describe for the court the nature of your relationship with Mr. Jones?
Mr. Jones and I, we were really just friendly. It was one night that I had came home from the club, and it just that particular night the alcohol in me was talking. It was a one-time thing. It happened one time, and we socialized, but we weren't that close not to have relations with one another, and that particular night we did. That's why it happened that one time.
So it was one night?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's it?
Yes, ma'am.
This wasn't a relationship that continued on?
No, ma'am.
And so, Ms. Briggs, do you have any recollection at all of Ms. Quiller?
Yes, I do. She used to sit on my porch and talk to me all the time.
Really?
Yes. We used to talk about just being in the neighborhood, being women, you know, nothing. She's really a good person, you know. So when she finally did tell me that I had to maybe possibly have a grandchild, I asked where she was. And she told me that she was in the store, and I finally met her, and like, it was like an electric shock went through my body, like it was meant to be. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry, it's okay. Take your time.
But other than that, I'm hoping that she's, yeah.
So, Ms. Quiller, you say you got 2 other men tested.
Yes, ma'am.
And today you feel like it's your last hope.
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
I feel like Nora deserves to know who her father is. I had the opportunity to meet my father when I was 17, and we have each other's number, and we still don't conversate with one another. And I feel like oh my God. I feel like Melissa deserves to know if she has a grandchild or not, and if she has another sibling or aunts and uncles.
Tell me about how you told Ms. Briggs that she was possibly your daughter's grandmother.
I had seen Ms. Briggs in the corner store. So when I spoke with her.
Take your time. I know it's painful.
When I spoke with her and told her it's a possibility that Charlie could be the father of my child, she looked at her, she picked her up, and she just burst into tears.
And at that point, she told you that her son...
She looked at her and she said, "This is my grandbaby."
And so when you saw this beautiful baby, you said, "This is my grandbaby"?
I just knew that she was my granddaughter. I had been dreaming about her for days. Like, my son was showing me this little girl in my dreams, and I was like, okay, what does this mean? And a few days later, here she is. Really? And I touched her, and it's like you're sticking your finger in the socket, and my whole body was electrified, you know. And if she's not mine, I still love her, you know.
Yes, I do. What happened to your son? And how did you then convey that to Ms. Quiller?
My son was killed in a home invasion. My son was shot 2 times in his chest with an Afghanistan rifle. And
I'm so
they killed
sorry.
$3 in a pack of cigarettes what they killed my son for.
I'm so sorry.
Your Honor, when I showed up to the house where they killed my son at, his blood was still wet.
And then in a chance encounter, run into this young woman?
Yes, Your Honor.
She doesn't know your son has passed.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you tell her.
Yes, Your Honor.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. Ms. Briggs, you've also brought witnesses today.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ma'am, please stand. And your name?
I'm Paternity Hodges. I'm the mother of his son and his former ex-girlfriend.
We're sorry for your loss as well. I know.
Thank you.
This is difficult on you and his child. What is it that you know about this situation?
Well,
Were
I mean,
you ever aware that potentially there was another child on the way?
When he died, my son was the only child that was stated of him having. And we didn't know anything about this little girl or her mother, but I knew about all the females, but Miss Quiller was never mentioned. She was never at all mentioned. And like, as I'm looking at this little girl now, and as I look at my son, and I'm not gonna sit there and say they don't like have similarities, because I mean, it's a little bit of something there, but I don't really know. I'm not 100% sure on it.
And so you're doubtful as you look at pictures of Nora, and that's a picture of your son.
Yes, ma'am. That's my son.
You don't see a similarity.
No, ma'am, not at all.
And you feel as if your son definitely favors his father.
My son, definitely. That's definitely. And that's no DNA needed. That's 1,000% sure his son. And I just feel like it shouldn't have took 3 years. Because, I mean, this little girl is 3 years, and she deserves to know who her dad is. He would never know that he had a daughter, because Miss Quiller never spoke up. But, like, I mean, if it's his son, if it's his daughter, then she'll be welcome. She will have a brother.
I see the tears in your eyes now.
Yeah,
what are
because
you feeling?
it's very upsetting. It's very upsetting because my son knows his dad, but she would never know her dad if he is her dad. But I mean, she would know her brother, and I will make sure that, like, despite the relationship me and Miss Quiller have, because I don't know her at all. Like, I don't know nothing about her. I don't know her at all. But her daughter, she deserves to know. She really do.
That's very generous of you. Thank you so much for your testimony. You may be seated. And your name?
Hi, my name is Jasmine Briggs.
And your relationship to?
And Charlie Jones Jr., the third, that's my brother.
That's your brother.
Mm-hmm.
At what time did you meet beautiful baby Nora? Did you meet her?
Like, I met her probably 3 months later.
So you were not aware of your brother's relationship with Miss Quiller either?
I mean, he told me about her, but
He did?
He didn't know anything about a baby.
Never knew anything about a child?
No. Me and my brother looks exactly like twins. And everybody tells us that we look exactly like twins, and I feel like she looks nothing like us. But
so when you look at baby Nora, when you look at Nora, you don't feel like she looks anything like you?
No.
Or your brother?
No. Like, his son looks exactly like us, and I feel like she don't look nothing like us.
But when you hear your mother say when she picked her up, she really felt like this was my grandchild.
Yes, and I understand that, but I'm just trying to prevent her from getting hurt again. I don't want her to put her feelings in it, and it comes out not to be his child.
Because you have sincere doubts?
Yes. During the funeral, one young lady said that she was pregnant by my brother, and we hadn't had a DNA test yet, but she ran off and told somebody else that the baby was his. So I'm just trying.
And at that time, your mother felt like she potentially had a grandchild.
And it hurt her so bad, and I'm just trying to prevent that from happening again.
Thank you, ma'am. You may be seated. And Ms. Briggs, listen, I've heard the testimony, and I know you've gone through something similar. Are you scared at all that this
I'm terrified.
be happening again?
I'm terrified, Your Honor. She was at the funeral, everything, I mean, rubbing this girl back, rubbing her feet, cooking everything she wanted. We were setting up for a baby shower she never showed up to.
So she just disappeared? She ran off?
Just disappeared.
And you had a baby shower for her?
Yes, ma'am.
And you had it all set up and she never showed?
Never showed up. And then she went on Facebook and said she had a baby shower. So you left me, well, I just gave everything away. And I went to her house to see the baby. Her mother locked her in the house, and this guy came out and he was like, it was his baby. And he started crying because he didn't know none of this was going on. And I showed him a picture of my son, and he was looking at the baby and looking at my son, and he looked at her and he just broke down into tears because the baby looks like my son. But I can't just tell this woman, okay, I want to see what am I supposed to do? So I walked away.
And that's really why your daughter and your son's child's mother, they're nervous. They're worried that you're going to fall in love with Nora.
I'm already there. There's nothing they could change about that.
It's easy to do with a beautiful child. Do you stay in touch? Have
Yes,
you
ma'am.
formed a relationship?
For the time that I was in Augusta, yes, we did form a relationship together. Miss Quiller brought my grandbaby over, and we spent some time together, and, you know, just like grandmother and daughter would do, you know. That's what we did. We ate ice cream together and played together. You know, she got to meet her brother, you know, and I wanted that to happen. It was very awesome.
And so, did you ever get the opportunity to tell him you were pregnant?
No, Your Honor. Before I found out I was pregnant, I had moved out the neighborhood. And once I moved out the neighborhood, I actually just stopped talking to people altogether. I later found out that I was pregnant. I was probably like, I want to say I was like 9 weeks pregnant by the time I found out that I was pregnant. By that time, even if I wanted to say anything to Miss Briggs, I wouldn't have known where to find her from Jumpstart, because I had known that she had moved out the neighborhood. I didn't know that Mr. Jones was deceased until I had seen her that day and she had told me that he was deceased.
Are there any other
No, ma'am.
potential fathers?
No, ma'am.
I have to be honest and ask you.
Not that I can recall, no. I mean, at that point in time in my life, I was very promiscuous and I was partying really hard. I had just got my freedom from my mother. I had just moved into my own apartment. I was working 3 jobs, so at that point in time, I really didn't have a care in the world besides taking care of me and what I had to take care of. And I was just trying to enjoy myself. I guess I should have tried a little differently.
I think we're ready for the results if anyone would like to take a seat. Jerome. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Quiller versus Briggs, pertaining to whether Miss Melissa Briggs is likely the grandmother of 3-year-old Nora Quiller, it has been determined by this court. It has been determined by this court. Miss Briggs, you are not her grandmother. So sorry.
It's not fair. I'll still be there for you if you need me to. We good. You ain't got to search no more, okay?
Mr. Johnson, you are here today to prove that you are not the biological father of the defendant's 3-year-old daughter, Malaya. You and your fiancé say Ms. Daventport is putting you on child support even though she already confirmed another man is the biological father. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Ms. Daventport, you say Malaya was a planned pregnancy with Mr. Johnson, and it wasn't until after he met his fiancée that Mr. Johnson's doubts came into play. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Johnson, why do you believe Ms. Daventport is putting you on support even though another man is the father?
Honestly, Your Honor, I just feel like at the end of the day, she knows that I'm a good and an honest man, and I'm a hard worker. And at the same time, she knows that I moved on and that I got engaged and I have a fiance now. And on top of all of that, she knows that I definitely don't want to be on child support to pay for a child that's not mine.
And so, Ms. Daventport, what is your position here today? You know for certain Mr. Johnson is Malaya's biological father?
Yes, Your Honor.
And it's not about the support to you?
No, Your Honor.
What is it about for you?
Let him know the truth and let him take care of his child.
Because you think it's important he knows the truth?
Yes.
Who does Malaya think is her dad now? Because she's 3.
My current boyfriend right now.
So you have a boyfriend right now?
Yes.
And Malaya calls him daddy?
Yes, Your Honor. Because he's been there before I was pregnant, and he was at the hospital with her. And
He was there when you were pregnant?
yes.
Was he there before you got pregnant?
No.
What was the nature of your relationship? Were you all boyfriend and girlfriend? What
Yes.
was going on?
We worked at a job together. Everything was copacetic at first until like years later, I started noticing infidelity, a lot of lies.
So you thought you were in a committed relationship, but you say Ms. Daventport was having sex and dating and out with other people.
Yes, but at the same time, we were
No,
in a
Your
committed
Honor.
relationship because we
No,
actually
Your
lived
Honor, he's
together.
lying.
Oh, so you lived together?
Yes.
We used to live together.
We stayed together.
So were you cheating on Mr. Johnson, Ms. Davenport,
No,
while you
Your
were
Honor.
living with him?
No. He knows I wasn't.
So where does he get this notion from?
He only, because after I had the baby, I posted pictures on Facebook of Chris and Malaya saying that he was a dad.
Oh, this is what you put on
Yes.
social media? Daddy and Malaya. And he's in the hospital when she's born.
Yes, because I didn't have no dealing with Malik at the time.
She did. She just don't want to speak on it. But basically, we were in contact. She said that she would let me know when Malay was born.
And
I
I
didn't
did
find
not
out
let him
until
know.
the next following day on social media through everybody else and family members that she's got pictures of another guy on social media.
I did tell him that he was going to come, but me and him had gotten to an argument.
That wasn't the
and
case, Your
I
Honor.
did not want to deal with Malik.
She didn't want me there to sign a birth certificate. And still, even having another person there, she didn't have him sign a birth certificate either.
So there's no father listed on Malaya's birth certificate right now?
No, Your Honor.
You do realize that once someone told him Ms. Davenport has a picture up on her social media that says Daddy and Malaya, that would fuel his doubt that Malaya's not mine, that's her daddy.
And it did. It hurt me, and it just had me confused because it was
I
just
didn't have
like,
him confused. He
didn't know.
knew I was pregnant way before I met Chris, so he knew. When I found out I was pregnant, I took a pregnancy test. I showed
But the
him.
whole time she
he was
cheat.
happy.
The whole time it was infidelity. She sat up there and was trying to rekindle relationships with her exes.
That's
No,
her
Your
pattern.
Honor.
That's what she does.
No,
Because
Your
even
Honor.
now, she'll try to rekindle a relationship with Malik.
No.
Sending
She
him
will?
naked pictures.
No, Your Honor. Ask for proof.
Texting him what
Where's
she
proof?
made for
Wait,
dinner.
hold on. Ms. Mciver, what did you say?
Malik,
Yeah,
you
she'll
mean-
send him pictures of her in her lingerie, send her pictures of what she done cooked
Your
for
Honor.
dinner, talking about some, oh, you wish a girl could cook like this.
Your Honor,
just trying to,
Malik was texting me all the time.
and you were calling him all day, all
And he was-
night,
no,
talking
he
about
was
it's about the
doing the same
baby at
thing,
3
Your
o'clock
Honor.
in the morning. When
Wait,
no
hold
baby
on. Texting at 3 o'clock in the morning,
3 o'clock in the
sending
morning,
pictures of
calling,
lingerie?
texting. From the get-go, it was drama.
Every time we get into it, Malik like, okay, she's not mine. I'm not gonna deal with that.
You
I'm
say
not
the
gonna
same
put
thing,
that
though.
in there.
You'll
I'm
sit
not
there and
gonna
tell him
do
it ain't
that.
his either.
And so this makes you upset.
Yes.
Because
he knows we playing Malaya.
You said you planned her.
Yes, and he knows this.
And so what are you feeling, Ms. Daventport? You feel frustrated or betrayed? What are you feeling?
Betrayed.
And why?
Because Malik knows, like, all the stuff we've been through just to have a child.
And you went through a lot to have
Yes.
the baby.
I had 2 miscarriages because of Malik and his stress. Like, he stresses me out. And I've been there for Malik through everything. I took Malik in when he didn't have nobody.
See, something about this to me is so personal. Like, I want it to just be about Malaya, but I can see it's about a lot more.
And that she
Yes.
still has feelings for him.
No, I don't. I have a whole...
Yes, you do.
Yeah,
No,
you
I
still got
don't.
feelings.
Yes, you do.
I don't even want to talk to him. He is always texting my phone, and like when she's not
So the
around,
bottom
he
line
texts
is-
my
the
phone
bottom
and all
line
this kind of
is-
stuff.
You still had some personal feelings for him,
No,
and he
Your
was
Honor.
stringing you along.
No, Your Honor.
That's exactly
Well, that's what
it
it
is.
No,
sounds
Your
like.
Honor.
Why is it you doubt Malaya is your biological child? Were you there for the pregnancy? Were you there supporting her through the pregnancy?
Yes, ma'am, in the beginning, but she also sat up there and told me that I wasn't the dad. I even have text messages of this.
Have you told him he was not the biological father, Ms.
Yes,
Daventport?
Your Honor.
You have done that.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so you rang that bell. Now we can't unring it, because once you said that, now he's got doubt.
Right. But he knows. He was there. We planned this.
I don't.
Malaya was a
Just
plan.
because you planned it doesn't mean you couldn't been having sex with somebody else. Once you tell him she's not your biological child, he's not gonna forget that. Mr. Johnson, you actually submitted a text message to the court. She said, my daughter's still going to school. Her daddy going to pay for it and take care of her.
Your Honor, that's because that's when I was like, well, if you even have an inkling in your mind that this could be your child, step up for her. Because when it gets said and done, and she's 18 and she comes to you, you want to be able to say, I did something for you. I did everything in my power
he hasn't
despite
done
your mother.
anything.
So
Right.
I pushed Malik to start paying for the daycare.
Daycare.
She
only
then
paid
came
one
back and
time.
said, oh, thank
One
you for paying
time.
all my kids, for paying for all my kids' daycare. That's why we stopped.
Because he don't want to step up and do what he's supposed to do.
That is not true. I'm not the type of woman that's gonna let my man not step up. And you
Okay,
know that he
but you-
stepped
but
up
you
because he done
did.
stepped up for
But
your
you
son.
did.
So don't
Okay.
sit here.
Okay,
And
that
I
was before
don't.
you.
I
That
don't.
was
It's you.
before
It's not
you.
us.
That was way
You the
before
drama
you.
causer.
Okay, ladies, let's get some order.
Me and her
Yes,
be cool.
that's-
It be Malik. That's why me and her staying too, because of Malik. And I have told her plenty of times, Malik is doing this, Malik is texting me. Can you tell her to stop texting me? He's doing all this stuff. And I have told her plenty of times, but she want to believe everything Malik say. No, it don't work
Then
like
she'll
that.
go and she'll text Malik. She'll say, I'm not texting Malik, and I'll be sitting right next to Malik, and she'll be texting
Texting.
me.
Because later on
Because the
that
whole
night,
thing
he
was they were
texted me.
supposed to go through me because they be at each other's throats.
Does
A
not
couple of months ago, he still trying to inbox me, oh, can you meet me here? Can you meet me there? And all that stuff. And he got mad because I wouldn't. And that's why they stopped again seeing Malaya.
No,
Not
that's
true.
a lie.
Yes, Your
Not true.
Honor.
Mr. Johnson, do you have a relationship with Malaya? She's 3.
Yes, on
What kind of relationship do you have?
Basically, when I first started getting to see her or getting her, she was still very small and very young.
She calls the other guy daddy. Does she call you daddy too?
No.
And so how does she refer to you, Mr. Johnson?
No, she don't say none of them.
She doesn't say anything. Well,
just-
she's just 3.
Right. She just understands my authority and she listens to me.
So she knows that you are someone that's in her life regularly?
As much as possible, but not regularly because, of course, Tiffany, every time she gets upset or every time her and her boyfriend are at good terms with each other, I can't get my daughter. Because I know he feels insecure because it was a situation where Tiffany set it up where she wanted me to have sex with her in order to see my child.
That's a lie, Your Honor. That is a lie.
That's not true because you called
That
my
is
phone
a
back
lie,
in
Your
October
Honor.
and said y'all had sex in my car.
Yeah,
So-
but he lied about that,
So
right?
that being said,
Right,
you
he
just
lied
told him
about
he's
that,
not
right?
telling the truth. You're not telling
Wait,
the truth.
hold on, Miss McIver. What
She
happened?
called me a year ago in October, and I'm like, Tiffany, what do you want now? What drama are you on today? And she was like, I just want to get it off my chest because I feel bad, but me and Malik had sex in your car.
In your car?
In my car.
Did we not? Did we not?
Because I was
not?
letting them get the car to
Do we not?
facilitate
Or do you
him
wanna
and
go
her
on? Do we
getting
not?
their daughter.
Yeah.
I've been trying to help them co-parent and be copacetic with each other
Not
for
that.
3 years.
Yeah,
Not
but-
that
but-
Not that
copacetic.
copacetic, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
So wait
Please.
a minute. You let them use your car so they could work on exchanging of Malaya and make sure everything was safe and they could get along and things could be going on schedule.
Your Honor.
And they end up having sex in your car?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that true, Ms. Davenport?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that true, Mr. Johnson?
Yes, Your Honor.
But that was her stipulation. He couldn't. She
Your Honor.
texted his phone and told
Your
him he could
Your
not see
Honor,
her
Your
daughter
Honor, without
Your Honor,
unless he had sex
they
with
are
her.
lying,
You
Your
know, I
Honor.
was just
because-
trying to be a stand-up
Your
guy at the end
Honor.
of the day.
Your
Oh, you was trying to be a stand-up guy.
Yeah.
Lies. Malaya wasn't even around. Malaya wasn't even around. So he would call me and text me.
Mr. Johnson,
He would
your
even come pick me up
credibility
from work.
Has been
just
shot.
sunk. This relationship is a
Mess.
It's a hot mess. It is, so Ms. Davenport, do you truly believe Mr. Johnson is Malaya's biological father? Or are you just hung up on this man and caught up in this net
No,
he's
Your Honor,
thrown out?
I believe and I know in my heart that he is the father.
Well, your heart is
And if
great.
you had moved on and you got the new boyfriend, why are you having sex with him in the car?
Cause that's what she do. That's why there's doubts now. Cause that's the type of stuff that she does.
Yeah, so he started texting and calling again.
Well, no.
Oh, that ain't gonna happen.
Hold on. Now, after I've heard what I've heard, yeah, I know he probably was texting. You all were texting back and forth. We're not even gonna trip about that. You having sex in cars? Yeah, you texting. You're gonna do that, you're gonna keep texting, you're gonna send pictures, all of that. All that was happening. It's a fact. But another fact that I think is of paramount importance is that, Ms. Davenport, you're here because you're trying to break a generational curse because you didn't have your father.
Yes, Your Honor.
A young woman doesn't operate like this unless there's some very, very deep wounds. And even though the testimony may have been hard, at the end of the day, we have to go through this to make sure Malaya doesn't. Because if you don't confront generational curses and things that affect you, you pass them down. What are you feeling in this moment?
Hurt.
Why?
Good. I know all the stuff I've been through. And I didn't think he would do this.
Well, I think it's important in this moment that we begin to see how we move forward. And I think one of the best ways to do so is to start with getting the truth. Before I go to the results, I have to ask you, Ms. Davenport, have you thought about if he isn't the biological father?
That's what I know in my mind and I know in my heart that he is.
You haven't even thought about what you will do?
No.
How about you, Mr. Johnson? You all have developed a relationship with this baby. She may not call you daddy, but
my daughters call her sister. My daughters still, when they say yo-yo, my daughters are being affected because they look at Malaya like she's their little.
absolutely, it
And-
affects the whole family.
Yeah.
We haven't been able to see her, and they're like, well, where's our sister? When's she coming over?
And have you considered, if I'm not the biological father, what then will you tell the children?
So I just want the crazy dysfunction and yo-yoing to stop because it's
but-
affecting my kids.
Yeah.
I am concerned for Malaya. I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot going on here, and I want to get the answers for you and for her now so we can figure out how we pull this thing together. Jerome, I'm ready for the results. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Johnson Mciver versus Daventport, when it comes to 3-year-old Malaya Daventport, it has been determined by this court.
Not the father.
Mr. Johnson, you are the father.
Told you. I know.
Now we finally know.
You are the father. Does it feel good to finally know?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
How you feel, Ms. Davenport?
I'm happy.
You look happy. Tears of joy?
Yes, ma'am.
Just glad it's over.
Yes.
Nobody has to doubt your baby anymore. She can have the love of her entire village. And you can have some support to be a mother it's a lot of work. It's a lot. And it's important for a child to have their father to be able to step up and just help raise her. Teach her how a young woman should be treated. I say that, Mr. Johnson, because I'm turning to you next. You can't teach a child something you don't know.
You're right, Your Honor.
I mean, I feel like Ms. Mciver has put herself out there as far as she can go. You've got to take it from here. And I don't mean using her car to have sex with Ms. Daventport when she trusts you to be dropping off your child. No, this is real talk.
Yes, Your Honor.
You would never want somebody treating your little girl the way you doing these two women. You got to straighten up.
Yes, Your Honor.